We have rules of the way we do things.
Right.
And
you have rules that the way you have to do things. I don't have to follow those rules.
I'm imparting that to you. Well, I submit to you that you do. But, you know...
Well, under what authority?
Okay.
Do you get the right to tell me what I can or can't say?
You know what? I imparted the rules to you. If you have a problem with that, if you want to go to the next level, maybe we can do that.
So we're here in Old City Hall, and behind me is the chamber where we're told the U.S. Supreme Court met from 1790 until about 1800. But they only met biannually. So one thing I always questioned when I was first thinking more about, you know, freedom and the ideas and things like that was, you know, at what point is Congress going to say, hey, we have enough laws? And you know, today these guys legislate away. They're in session all the time. Back then they were meeting every other year, but still, like, it just goes to show this piece of paper, the Constitution does not constrain the growth of government at all. It just allows the people who make the rules then are able to judge and interpret and grow the rules. So yet another reason why we advocate for individual liberty across the board and not looking to a piece of paper for our rights.
It's not a question of that at all. It's a question of if you're doing what we call interpretation, in other words, you're putting forth your interpretation of history in a public building, that's going to look as if that's what we're saying. So that's what.
But look at how damaging it is throughout history when the state decides what the history is. I mean, if the state can say, you know what, hey, we didn't mistreat these people, and
it's
yet
like
they do.
It's not a debate about the First Amendment. It's like there's rules of doing things. You know, all you needed to do was get a permit to do the filming. To coming in and making a speech and filming that, it makes it look like that's the National Park Service endorsing whatever it is.
Well, I don't have a National Park Service badge on.
Well, tell people where.
I told you what the rules are. If you have a problem with that.
So what are the rules? I mean,
that we can't make speeches.
We do the interpretation in the buildings.
But look at history and look how bad it is when you're a government employee, and look what happens when government employees interpret history. I mean, they gloss over rights violations that governments cause. We're not trying to be difficult, but I mean, this is only turned into a conversation because.
Okay.
Anybody ask her whatever Missy knows about it.
Are you going to do anything about it?
I don't know. It's not my job, but
okay.
I notified everybody, visitor center, dispatch, everybody. So.
All right.
Okay, so I guess we can move on.
Yes. I guess we take this.
So here we are in what used to be Supreme Court, I guess. Right next door is where this nation was founded, and we're told we don't have a right to tell our own interpretation of it without a permit. And you know, we try to point out how destructive and bad of an idea it is to let the people, the victors, set the history, and we have a government agent telling us that we can't do that. So proves our point. If you look here about the Underground Railroad, it says it was an illegal activity, the Fugitive Slave Act, passed by Congress, signed by Washington. So, you know, one thing I would ask you to think about is, would you harbor somebody who's escaping slavery in your house? If so, that would have made you a criminal per the president and Congress. Today, people that are trying to get better lives for themselves and their families, that are trying to vote with their feet essentially, and come here, if you help them, if you give them safe quarter, you're called a criminal as well. Does it make sense? I don't think so. So again, this just underscores that you know, they can put whatever they want on a piece of paper. It doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it moral. That's why we need to look to our individual rights, our natural rights, and just know that no matter where you're born, you have the same rights.
We are better off doing with our money than. And what they ask you to do, sir?
They just asked me to tone the volume down, but I'm effectively through, so.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, man, you got a right to speak your mind, you know?
Amen.
Don't have to listen to guys just because they got badges.
Yes, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Take care, man.
God bless you.
The Constitution is a failed experiment. To me, it's more of an evolution of the mind. It's time for us to start thinking of ourselves. We know how to spend our money better. We know how to live our lives. Voluntary interactions are where it's at. And you know, this piece of paper, this building, again, is built by taxpayer dollars, which in the end of the day is theft. Taxation is theft. And let's think for ourselves, people.
Hey, what's up? So we're out in front of Independence Hall in Philadelphia. There's thousands of tourists here, other folks checking out the, learning more about the Constitution and what happened back in the day here. But, you know, which is all well and good, but I guess I'd encourage those folks and you folks at home watching this who do advocate for a return to the Constitution to think about just what it entails. I mean, the Constitution is just a piece of paper that has no magic that makes it binding to you or me or anybody else alive today. Nobody alive today signed it. It's not a contract. The fact that these guys a couple hundred years ago put on a piece of paper that the state has a right to do this and do that doesn't matter to you or I. The fact that they allowed, through the amendment process later, allowed for their same cohorts to steal, to have a right to your money, that doesn't make it just. It doesn't make it any more right. If I put on a piece of paper that I had a right to your money, so rather than like look to a piece of paper to uphold your rights, which either was flawed from the inception and failed, or it wasn't able to constrain the growth of the state. Either way, it hasn't worked. So let's take what we can. Let's go past that. Like Adam has said, let's evolve. Let's have a peaceful evolution where each person is free to act so long as they don't initiate force. We don't need to look to a piece of paper for our rights. Hey, you guys got a second to tell us what you think about the Constitution or government today? How you doing? You have a second to tell us what you think about the Constitution? Y'all have a moment to tell us what you think about the Constitution? Tell us what you think about the Constitution. You lovely ladies have a second to tell us what you think about the Constitution. Tell us what you think about the Constitution. You guys have a moment to tell us what you think about the Constitution. Excuse me, sir, you have a moment to tell us what you think about the Constitution? Y'all got a moment to tell us what you think about the Constitution or government? This one, it would be good to have an attractive female with this, man.
So we're here outside Constitution. Is this fucking Constitution Hall?
Y'all are crazy motherfuckers. Anybody with the camera's crazy. I'm not talking.
I mean, fuck that.